Welcome to your Donut You Eat It. I'm your host, Sean, and this is why it sucks, I should say, because this is where I'm going to post it. Brown University professor calls for pandemic amnesty. If you haven't been on Twitter or you haven't seen it on the news, if you haven't seen it broadcast, The Atlantic, which is a publication, right? I think they're a newspaper or some sort of newspaper type thing. They have posted up an article where they call for amnesty, where this person did, for things said and done under the pandemic. My direct answer is hell no. The things you did to Americans, how many points have our kids lost in math and reading, in proficiency? How many businesses, small businesses, livelihoods were destroyed by your policies and continue to be destroyed by mandates that are still being held up by Democrat elected governors? Hell no, I will not give you amnesty in any way, shape, or form, and no one should, for what you've done to us. For 2.5 years, you kept some of us locked down in our own homes. We weren't able to do our normal day-to-day lives without finding a way around your stupid rules. And all of it has been found for no reason. The masks, the first thing that we're going to talk about. How stupid was that they told us that you needed a piece of cloth? And at first it makes sense when you think about spittle and stuff like that, because that's how they said it was being spread. Then you find out way later that it's basically airborne. That nowhere in this would it have worked unless you had one of those N95s that they said you couldn't have at the beginning because our first responders needed them. Okay. You locked us down. 2 weeks to slow the spread, right? We all hunkered down. We thought 2 weeks, yeah, sure, that makes sense. Let our guys, the first responders and the ER guys, deal with what they need to while we stand down. And then it extended and kept extending. And if you were in the blue states like I am, in the blue curtain, behind the blue iron curtain, I call it, you were locked down, basically. The only places you could go for any kind of solace or any kind of exercise is the great outdoors. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But how many people died from suicide, drug overdoses? How many people died from delayed treatments because of your lies? No, there will be no amnesty in this. And in fact, if the political landscape shakes out the way I hope it does, I hope we start having trials. And I want to see perp walks. We have governors that put people in old folks' homes with COVID, which allowed it to spread to the most vulnerable. They died. That's murder. We have politicians that pressured and signed on with Big Pharma to make sure everyone, 75% of us, took the vaccine, so they said. Now we're finding out more and more that there's injuries associated with this. They seem to be minute in some cases, but it seems to affect younger males, and we can't have that conversation without getting censored. No, there will be no amnesty. Especially after finding out that you guys colluded with the DHS to manipulate the narratives around everything. If you hadn't seen that story also, that came out today too, that it has been proven, and the documents linking are conclusive that Facebook, Twitter, and Microsoft colluded with administration, both Trump and Biden administration, to suppress, manipulate information put out by these platforms. Free men don't ask permission. I'm done asking permission to do anything anymore. And I will never, ever let you forget what you did to us for 2.5 years, almost 3. There will be no amnesty. There will be no quarter. Rumble, share, like, subscribe, be great.